Let's see if I can make 2 tops in 2 hours. Okay, right now the time is 3:30 and usually I leave my studio around like 5 or 6 every day. So my goal is to sew 2 tops today. I'm gonna be making the Wave Float top from Matchy Matchy Sewing Club, and I've made this top before. I think I made it like 6 weeks ago after I'd finished sewing my big first project of the year, the Idane trench coat from Vicky Sews, and I never filmed the process of making that top because it was just so simple. I think it did take me 2 hours or so to make the first version, but honestly it's such a simple top. And I'm also going to be making 2 just in the exact same fabric. One will be for me and then one will be for my friend as a birthday gift. I think she'll like it. I feel like it's a pretty basic top that can look good with like jeans or like a pair of linen pants, and I'm going to make it out of linen. It's going to be super comfy, super relaxed, so I hope she likes it. I hope I like it. So the top is not fitted at all. Neckline is finished with bias tape. Entire bottom is gathered. So that's probably the part that's going to take the longest. So if I just batch everything together, hopefully I can finish it quickly. The nice thing is the pattern is already cut out and I have it ready to go. I'm gonna read through the instructions really quickly and just get started. Okay, let's grab our pattern. We have the Wave Float top. So this is the fabric that I'm gonna be using for both tops. It's a soft wash linen from Blackbird Fabrics. I think I got this like 2 years ago, and the color is Salted Licorice, very cute. And I have 3 meters of it, which is more than enough to make 2 of these tops. I am doing the size medium. I think my friend and I are like pretty similar in size, and it's also kind of like loose anyway, so I think it'll be fine. It's not meant to fit like super tight or anything. I think I'll use this like cream thread. I think that'll look good. I think my friend will appreciate one of these cute Sarah Hart's tags in it, so which one should I use? The tomatoes are very, very cute. But I kind of like the carrot too with this fabric. I think I'm gonna use carrots for both my top and hers. Okay, so those will be the tags. Let's chat while I start laying everything out and cutting out all of my pattern pieces. And I'm gonna try to work quickly. I'm also just kind of curious, do you guys pre-wash your fabric? I know you're supposed to, but some fabrics, I'm not gonna lie, are so annoying to wash, especially when you like have a huge yardage of it. Generally, depending on the fabric, I will, but most fabrics that I use, I feel like they don't really need like a pre-wash. Plus, I wash everything with cold water, and then I hang almost like all of my clothing to dry. So generally, I'm not too concerned about that. I'm gonna cut with my rotary blade. Generally, I do all of my fabric cutting with my rotary blade now. I just love it because that's what I use when I'm cutting out all of my pieces for like my business and stuff. So I'm just kind of used to cutting with like a rotary cutter now. Also, these are my pattern weights, and I just use like little washers from the hardware store. They are literally the best. They cost like $2 each, and they just store like really nice and flat like this, or you can like hang them up. So these are great. The mat that I'm using is technically not meant for a rotary blade because it's not self-healing. I use the, what is it called? The Sullivan's cutting mat. And for a while, I was just kind of keeping this as like something to use more for like measuring and stuff, but once I started sewing more of my own stuff this year, I just kind of gave in and I just started cutting on it, and all of my cuts are kind of everywhere, so either way, like the mat will kind of like smooth itself out. Everything is cut out, so I've got my bias strips. I have extra fabric, so I think I have enough to make like a pair of shorts. once the weather gets warmer, so that's cool. So I've got my cuffs. I have the back, the front, or is this the back? I think this one is the back. And then I have the roughly bottom parts. So the one that's like higher is for the back. The one that has a lower scoop is the front. So I'm gonna go and get to sewing and I will check back in with you. Okay, I'm gonna sew all of the shoulder seams on both tops and then the tiniest little underarm seam here. And then that's where like your arm comes out of. So I'm gonna go do that. So it's 4 p.m., which means I spent half an hour cutting everything out, notching everything, and sewing and serging the shoulder seams and the side seams. Right now, I am just putting a pin in at center front and center back like that, because the last time I sewed this top, I also used the linen and it does fray pretty easily. So I'm just gonna mark the center so that it's a little bit easier for me to attach this ruffly bit later on. But because it gets frayed and it can be kind of difficult to see, I need to mark the center front and center back of the little gathered lower bodice part too. So I'm gonna go do that. And then I will be matching the side seams of the front and back ruffle, sewing, serging, ironing, and then I'm gonna gather this whole edge all around, and then spend some time just gathering everything. Just because this is a pretty simple top that I think is great for beginners, I also wanted to give a couple like pointers. So one is about gathering. If you've ever struggled with gathering fabric, it might be because you're not pulling your threads from the bobbin thread. So you don't want to be pulling your gathering threads from the top. So I was sewing with this side facing up. You want to pull the threads that were coming in from the bottom. Look how cute it is. I think it looks really good with the jeans that I'm wearing right now too. So you can see it's like pretty like loose too, which is great. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm doing the size medium. So I typically wear like an 8 or like a US 8 to 10 in pants and dresses. So I like this one in a medium, although I don't know, like I feel like I could probably make the small too. Okay, so I've got both gathered and sewn on and serged. So all that's left to do is just the sleeve band, and then I need to finish the neckline with bias tape, and then I will be done. Altogether so far, it's been like an hour and 15 minutes. So hopefully I can finish in the next 45 minutes, and that will be the two tops. Okay, I have all of the bias tape pinned to the neckline. So I'm gonna go and stitch all around and then do my understitching and then put the tag in. And I've already hemmed the bottom and I have finished off the sleeve cuffs and everything and done the top stitching there. So we are almost done.